Hey everyone, welcome to the Crypto Beach. Today we've got Amanda. She's going to share her story of how she got into crypto, as well as some tips and some trends and projects that she's been looking at. So without further ado, here's Amanda. Go for it.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Amanda. And I think I heard about NFTs for the first time about a year ago, so late 2020. And I just saw, some artist friends of mine posting on Instagram because I wasn't on Twitter back then about selling digital art. And naturally, it caught my attention because at the time I was doing mainly commissioned work such as covers and ads and websites, but I did also sell like physical prints and posters, which was what I wanted to do, but didn't like earn enough money on it. So seeing that people started selling digital art, which was so new, like nobody did that before, was really, really interesting to me. But I had no background in crypto, so it also felt a bit overwhelming, and I definitely thought that it was going to be much harder to kind of set up a wallet and to start selling. So I don't think that I fully like entered the space until March 2021. So that's when I started to engage with people on Twitter and to actually mint my first works on Foundation. But at like by that time, Twitter was already very, very loud, very hectic, very noisy. A lot of people had already joined the space. So it was really hard to kind of market yourself and to stand out. So I think I found it very stressful in the beginning. Didn't really know how to navigate in that space at all. And also I was still trying to do the things that I did before. So I was still doing commission works and I was still doing a lot of other stuff. And with just the addition of like NFTs and Twitter and it just got me exhausted. So I didn't sell any pieces in my first couple of weeks. Also got a bit stressed and did compare myself a lot with other people. And it really felt like I needed to prove myself in a very limited time, which wasn't true, but that's what I felt back then. And so I actually decided to take a break. It was also this summer when COVID restrictions finally lifted a bit. So I was just gonna focus on my life and doing other stuff for a while. Also had the time to reflect a little bit more about what I wanted as an artist and how to spend my time and what I wanted to focus on more. So coming back, I decided to fully focus on NFTs for a while and see how it goes. Did engage a lot more with people, also minted a couple of more works and also started selling. And that's where I am today. So I'm very excited for next year. I feel like I have so many exciting things coming up and yeah, that's
Oh, awesome. Thanks for sharing. What kind of so what I understood is you started off because a friend of yours kind of brought the NFTs to your attention and you wanted to explore the space. It was exciting.
yeah.
What was most exciting for you about coming into the NFT space?
I think the possibility to sell digital art because uh, as I said, I did sell physical prints, but I was also
Yeah.
really interested in animation and 3D and stuff, which is impossible to sell as a physical print, and didn't really know like how to level up my game with like physical art. So just like the opportunity to create something digitally and sell it was just amazing to me. Like
Yeah, that
it
makes
just
a
I
lot of
need
sense.
it. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So, you know, when you came in and originally there was a lot of activity in the
Yeah.
space and separating some of the noise from like, the actual kind of more tactical stuff that you had to figure out was quite a bit. What platforms were you looking at? And, can you walk us through how you were thinking about it then?
With the different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Back in
so
March. Yeah.
I did get an invitation to Foundation quite
Okay.
quickly, which
Oh,
I
okay.
thought was one of the most popular ones, and it's still
Okay.
one of the two platforms that I use. So I use Foundation and Known Origin. I did also try OpenSea for a short while because you can mint for a much lower fee, which was. But I also felt like it was hard to find collectors on OpenSea. Don't know today. I've seen a lot of people with great success on OpenSea, but I've also seen people like struggling to kind of find the same audience or like the same collectors that you easier will find on Foundation or bigger platforms like Super Rare and platforms like that.
Okay.
So right now I'm just on Known Origin, Foundation, and then also on Object. So selling a bit on Tezos as well.
Okay, nice. What kind of tips would you recommend to an artist coming into this space for the first time?
Definitely take your time. Don't stress, don't compare yourself to other people. Like I felt like it was so like the time was so limited to kind of prove yourself, but just remember that this is not like a 1-year race or a 2-year race. This will be something that we all can develop in for so long, I think. So just be here for the long run instead of just trying to make a lot of quick sales. Like that really doesn't matter. You can make a lot of quick sales and then you have no more success, or you can take a lot of time and then you eventually will find your right collectors. So build your community, build your tribe, find people that you really, really like, people whose art you adore, and then just hype the shit out of them, and you will see, you can expect them will do the same thing for you as well. So just find a group of close people and try to navigate together, because it will be really helpful to have people that you can ask, people that are interested in the drops you're making and the stuff you're creating. So really just connect with people on a deeper level than just I don't know, commenting nice and an emoji. So just deeper connections and take your time. Really don't stress. Eventually it will come. Yeah.
All right. Great words. With respect to community and connecting, as you know, the internet is 24/7. So
I know, yeah. So definitely put some boundaries to how much time you spend, because I definitely, as soon as I spend too much time on Twitter, I also find myself creating less, which is something that I don't want. So also that focus on creating and being an artist, and have Twitter as something you do on the side more. Because I've seen a lot of people that spend maybe too much time on Twitter, and they don't. So it's an easy trap to kind of fall into, because the more time you spend, the more engagement you'll get as well. Be careful with how you prioritize your time, because it's very precious.
Okay, how do you recharge your creative energy?
I've been struggling a lot with that during COVID now, because I'm so isolated. So definitely, I think doing a lot of stuff, meeting a lot of people, definitely keeps me like the vibration higher in my life. But I also need to spend time alone to kind of channel my creativity as well. So I don't know, I guess a combination of doing things, not thinking about art, and also kind of being with myself alone. Undisturbed. Yeah.
That makes sense. How about the trends, with NFTs? Some of the people we interview, they talk about sort of collections versus one-of-ones. Can you talk a little bit about how you see that world evolving from your perspective?
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see some more community driven projects, with like the 10K pieces
Yeah.
kind of projects. And I'm actually involved in one that's going to launch now in January. That is super fun, and it's Crypto Mo's. You can check it out.
Cryptos.
And they're going to focus a lot on artists and art, which is super fun. Like, I'm really happy to be included in that project. I also think we'll see a lot of more collabs between artists, which is super fun now with everyone connecting more, networking more. I think we'll see a lot of more like cross genre, I don't know, artworks with
Yeah, that makes sense.
artists. Yeah. And also more, maybe not only visual arts, but more music, more fashion, more diverse kind of market, I guess. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense, and you're doing a great job here, sort of giving us a lay of the land. Um, you bring up a great point about the collaboration. And what's really interesting is behind the scenes, how are these collaborations structured? And do you feel, how do you essentially, how are you incentivized to participate? Is it kind of like them just kind of tapping you and then you kind of joining, and, because of their mission, you're like compelled to contribute your time? Or is there a more formal way of, sort of structuring those types of arrangements?
I don't know. I haven't really done a lot of collabs in the past. So that's also something I'm planning to do more next year. So I have a couple of collabs with other artists planned.
Yeah.
But I haven't really done those before. So I don't know if I can answer that.
Okay. No, I was just asking.
Yeah, sure. What do you think?
Yeah. So what I've seen or what I've heard is that, um, during these collaborations, there's the artists, right? And they're kind of contributing the creative energy to produce the NFTs. But then there's like a whole operational side of marketing the NFTs, making sure that the communities are well managed. And the way that folks are doing it today sometimes involves like a compensation model where they're just paying people, to handle some of the operational side and bringing them on, like it's almost like a salaried or contracted work. And then there are other models where people are actually paid with the NFTs, or, told it, they'll get some of that drop. So those two sides. And then I'm sure there's some middle ground where there's a combination of the two. But, it's just, I think it's interesting to see the collaborations. It's also interesting to understand how the operating model, serves the artist, and to make sure of that.
Yeah, for sure. So the project I was talking about, the Crypto Mo's, so that I'll essentially just get paid for 10 pieces of work. So, and then the 10 pieces going to get like, everyone in the community are going to get real artworks from real artists.
I see.
More like a salary kind of thing.
Okay.
But the project also needs to sell out to kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense. And, look, these are, I imagine that this is one of multiple that you'll be a part of. And so it's just going to become more clear. You're going to see kind of like some of the variation in it. And that's super cool. That's super cool.
But I guess if you do like a collab with just another artist, that the main way to do it is just to split 50-50. Like if you create something together and then you just mint it and then you just equally split the profit, and yeah,
that makes sense. Something that I think a lot of people are also curious about is with respect to the collaborations because it's an international kind of community, right?
Yeah.
You're going to meet a lot of different cool people. How are you guys talking? How are you guys, collaborating, you exchanging artworks? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I was invited to this like Discord channel in the beginning of my NFT journey, which was really, really helpful. Like so many people from all around the world sharing like tips and helping each other, and also just engaging in each other's drops and tweets and stuff. So that was a really easy way to kind of meet new friends. And then I think in general, it's quite easy to connect on Twitter as well. I feel like it's harder to kind of find new people and to connect on Instagram because it feels, I don't know, more closed. I don't know. Whereas on Twitter, I follow new people every single day. So I think it's much easier to just connect and even to write people, ask people about things. Like it feels more casual on Twitter, I guess.
That makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Much easier to connect on Twitter. The live conversations, with respect to the tweets is different than, on Instagram when you're just seeing posts, of like pictures. Yeah, really it's not conversational.
No, I wouldn't really comment on another person's comment on Instagram, but on Twitter, I would totally do that if I agree with something
Yeah, definitely.
So it's easier to connect on Twitter.
Yeah. So, when it comes to kind of your perfect world, as an artist, you've now started to become familiar and become successful with NFTs. You're collaborating. What does a perfect world look like for you, if that's even possible?
Perfect world in the NFT world, or just
in the art world? I know a lot of
I would love to see it more diverse, definitely more women in the space for sure, more minorities in general.
Definitely.
There's a lot of dudes right now. But so definitely more diverse. Like I would love to see some underrated artists getting the sales that they deserve, even if they're not like very popular or hyped yet. So
all right.
Definitely something.
I think a big question a lot of artists have when they come into the space is, am I going to be able to live off of the sales from my NFT? I think the opportunity NFTs offer is, obviously the royalties, could be very, the whole concept, the model supports the artists in a way that we've never been able to do before. So, coming from the print world, or where you sold print works and now you're doing NFTs, what's your perspective on it?
I also love the idea that you can invest and essentially make money out of like supporting other artists. So that's also something I want to focus a lot more on. Like the more I earn, the more I want to like give back to the community and also invest in other up and coming artists. So that's something really fun, like not only selling your own art, but also be able to pick out talents and kind of invest and make money on that as well. Instead of just like investing in other stuff. I feel like it makes more sense to pick out artists rather than, I don't know, companies and
no, that's actually good.
So it's easy for me to spot talent and creativity.
That makes sense.
A successful company,
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. Thanks for sharing that perspective too. Yeah. There's a huge opportunity to invest in fellow artists and to just kind of elevate the entire community. With that being said, I think that kind of covers our interview today. Do you have anything you'd like to share with the audience? Maybe how to get in touch with you or to find your work and or
Yeah,
any
so
initiatives?
by Tidstrand on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll have my links there as well if you want to check out my work on Foundation and on Origin, my other NFTs. And thank you for having me. It was really nice to have a chat with you and to share
Yeah, no,
my story.
definitely.
And yeah, it was really nice.
We really appreciate, having you as well. So, we continue to wish you the most success looking forward. I'm confident that, you have what it takes to navigate those changes, and you just seem like you have a good idea of kind of how you fit now. So that's really dope, and I'm happy to
Yeah,
hear it.
it's better. Yeah,
It's better, right? It's a process.
it's a process for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, all good.
but it's fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right. Okay. Thanks
Cool.
for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Bye.